Wednesday, June 3rd. It is clear that the shadows are lengthening over the docks and the estates alike, signaling a shift in power that none of us could have predicted just a few weeks ago. We are watching a slow motion car crash, and yet I find myself completely unable to look away from the wreckage. Let us talk about the manipulation, because it is honestly top tier soap rot at its finest. Michael is playing a game that is so twisted, and if you ask me, he is losing his moral compass in the process. He is setting a trap for Willow, and the fact that he is using her vulnerability to get to Chase is just cold-blooded. I mean, can you imagine the look on her face when she realizes she is nothing more than a pawn in his latest vendetta? Guys, we have seen Michael be ruthless before, but this feels different. It feels personal, and it feels like he is willing to burn his entire life down just to spite the people who have crossed him. If you ask me, he is dangerously close to becoming the very thing he spent his entire life trying to escape, and I have to wonder if he even realizes how far he has fallen. Now, let us turn our eyes to the tense situation at Windermere, where Tracy is leading a charge that is as brilliant as it is terrifying. She is not playing around with Sidwell, and I have to admire her tenacity, even if I fear the consequences. If you ask me, bringing Brooklyn into this fight was a masterstroke, as they are a force to be reckoned with when they are on the same page. But, guys, does anyone else feel like they are poking a bear? Sidwell is not the type to just roll over and play dead, and I fear that his anger is going to manifest in ways that will leave our favorite characters reeling for a long time. I find myself holding my breath whenever they are on screen because you just know that something is about to go wrong, and it is going to happen fast. Meanwhile, the situation at the PCPD is becoming a pressure cooker of its own. Elizabeth is standing on the edge of a confession that could shatter whatever remains of the order in this town. If you ask me, her admission about what Lulu did not know regarding Rocco is the kind of revelation that changes everything. We have seen her struggle for so long, and watching her finally confront the truth that she is the one who tipped off Dante about the shooting is both gut-wrenching and necessary. It highlights the moral ambiguity that defines our world here in Port Charles. We have to ask ourselves, when does protecting someone you love cross the line into covering up a crime that has real-world consequences for everyone else? I really think we need to analyze what is happening with Nina. She is at Turning Woods, and her interactions with Brennan are nothing short of a psychological thriller. If you ask me, she is playing a dangerous game of cat and mouse, trying to protect her own interests while navigating the complex web of loyalties that define her current existence. She is clinging to the idea that her love for Willow is her saving grace, but is that enough to shield her from the repercussions of her past? Guys, I am watching her closely because I suspect she is about to make a move that will surprise us all, and it might just be the pivot point for the entire season. Brennan knows more than he is saying, and Nina is going to have to dig deep if she wants to stay one step ahead of the game. If you ask me, the tension between Chase and Jacinda is just the tip of the iceberg. When Chase warns her about Michael, he is not just being paranoid. He is trying to protect her from the same destruction that he is currently facing. It is a classic case of the pot calling the kettle black, but we cannot ignore the truth in his words. Michael is not the saint he pretends to be, and Jacinda is going to learn that lesson the hard way. I honestly feel like she is destined to get caught in the crossfire, and that makes me incredibly nervous for her. Do you think she will listen to him, or is she already too far under the spell of the Corinthos machine to see the reality of her situation? And what about the interaction at the boathouse? Seeing Michael arrange for Willow to bump into Chase is just so deliciously unhinged. It is a calculated move to push their buttons, and if you ask me, it shows just how far he is willing to go to maintain his control over the narrative. I mean, how can a man who claims to love his family act in such a way that it practically invites chaos into their lives? It makes me question everything I thought I knew about his motivations. I want to believe he has an end game, but sometimes I think he is just lashing out because he does not know how to handle the loss of control in other areas of his life, especially with everything happening at the company and within the family dynamic. Guys, I have been thinking a lot about the role of the past in these current conflicts. We have generations of history, of hurt, and of secret agendas that are all colliding at once. When we see characters like Tracy and Carly maneuvering through these crises, it reminds us that they are products of a long line of survivors. But even survivors get tired. If you ask me, we are seeing the cracks in their armor, and it is only a matter of time before someone, maybe even someone we least expect, breaks completely. Does it feel to you like we are heading toward a breaking point where the only outcome is total destruction? Or is there still a sliver of hope for redemption in this mess? Let us not forget the mystery surrounding Marco and the information that Lucas is trying to bring to light. Joe is right to be suspicious, as in this town, information is the most dangerous currency of all. If you ask me, the fact that Lucas waited this long to speak up suggests that he is terrified of what will happen if the truth about that murder finally comes out. He is looking for an out by pointing fingers at Pascal, but that is a dangerous game to play. If Pascal is innocent, this could blow up in everyone's faces, and the consequences for the police department and the families involved would be catastrophic. I really think we are on the verge of a scandal that will rock the very foundations of the local justice system. I find myself constantly wondering what the next move for the family will be. Carly is clearly trying to keep a lid on things, but with Brennan involved, that is becoming an impossible task. If you ask me, her visit to Turning Woods is going to be the catalyst for something truly massive. She is protective. We know that. But she is also prone to making rash decisions when she feels like those she loves are under threat. And with Jocelyn stepping into that dark world, I have to ask, are we about to lose her to the same cycle of violence that has plagued her father and her mother for years? It is a heartbreaking thought, and I honestly do not know how much more of this we can take. Guys, look at the way the scenes are structured. We are jumping from the high-stakes boardrooms of the corporate elite to the gritty reality of the police station and the shadows of the hospital. It is a constant reminder that no one is safe and no one is exempt from the fallout. I love how the show forces us to connect the dots between these seemingly unrelated events. It is like a puzzle where every piece is stained with blood and betrayal. When Cullum starts spilling those secrets, it is going to be the final straw for many, and I have to wonder if anyone will be left standing when the dust finally settles on this particular arc. If you ask me, the most tragic figure in all of this is still Dante. He has lost so much, and now he is forced to reckon with the reality that his own personal life is falling apart even as he tries to hold the law together. He is a man caught between his duty and his heart, and that is a recipe for disaster. When he hears the truth from Elizabeth, I honestly think it might be the final push that makes him lose his grip. He has been hanging on by a thread for so long, and it feels like that thread is about to snap right in front of us. I truly hope he finds a way to pull through, but given the trajectory of this story, I have my doubts. I have to ask, are you guys satisfied with how the characters are evolving, or do you feel like they are being pushed into corners that don't make sense for their history? I personally think the writing has been incredibly sharp lately, making us care even when we are frustrated by the choices they make. It is a testament to the actors, truly, that we are still so invested in this chaos. Every time I think I have the story figured out, the show throws a curveball that makes me question everything. And let us be real, that is exactly why we keep coming back day after day, week after week, no matter how much the drama hurts. As we look forward to the aftermath of these events on June 3rd, I have a feeling that we are not going to be able to sleep until the next episode airs. The way everything is converging, the trap for Willow, the confrontation with Sidwell, the secrets being spilled at the PCPD, it all feels like the precursor to a massive explosion. And when that explosion happens, I want to be right there with you guys to dissect every single detail. I have so many theories, but I want to hear what you are thinking. Do you think Michael will actually succeed in his scheme, or will his own arrogance be his undoing in the end?
Goodbye. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the GH Spoilers Daily channel.